Hello students, good morning. I hope you all are safe and healthy at your home. Welcome in lecture number 20. IC paper number 10, unit number 3. In previous lecture, we studied about ocean thermal energy, and in ocean thermal energy, we studied about tidal energy. And also we discuss about single basin tidal type power plant. Now in this lecture we studied about double basin tidal energy power plant. Double basin tidal energy power plant. Here describe arrangement is double basin tidal power plant. We discuss it. In one basin called upper basin, we describe in figure the upper basin. The water level is maintained. This is upper basin. Water level is maintained above that in the lower basin. In double basin arrangement system, the turbines are located in between the two basins. The turbine power plant is located here between the upper basin and lower basin. The sluice gates are as usual as in the dam across the mouth of the two situations. The reservoir empty at low tide and the upper reservoir is replaced at high tide. If the power generating capacity is to be large, the reservoir must be large. We in this figure we derive about only situation of the turbine. Here is the turbine, that is the B is the turbine and A is generator and C is transformer and this is our electricity network. So if this part is upper layer, in high tide the upper layer is fill up and then is passed into lower layer. This is lower layer. So when sea water is passed between upper layer and lower layer, the water kinetic energy is rotate the turbine and this turbine is joined with generator. So kinetic energy of water is converted into mechanical energy of turbine and mechanical energy is transferred into electricity by generator. So we get electricity at our required place. This is also a one type of double basin type tidal power plant. In high tide, this part is filled up with water and it passes into lower basin. In upper basin and lower basin, turbine is located in between. So when water flow, turbine also rotate and it produce electricity with the help of generator. So in high tide that type of situation is created and this is in low tide where the flow of water is also passed in between this way. So we get electricity. Now we discuss about advantages and disadvantages of tidal power plant. First of all, we discuss about advantages. Tidal power is a largest and exhaustible source of energy which is independent on rainfalls. Number 2, tidal power generation is free from pollution. This source not created pollution. So, tidal power plant is free from pollution as it does not use any fuel and also does not produce any unhealthy waste like gases, ash, atomic refuse, etc. So, for better future, the tidal power plant is very good source for us. Number 3, these power plants do not require large area of valuable land because they are on the seashore. We show detail in single basin and in double basin. So it does not require large areas and the valuable land. So this is the main advantage of tidal power plant. Number 4, peak power demand can be effectively met when it works in combination with hydroelectric system or thermal system. Sometimes tidal power plant is rejoined with hydroelectric system or thermal power plant. So day and night cycle we get continuous electric power for our required place. These are the main advantages of tidal power plant. Now disadvantages. Number 1, the fundamental drawback is the variability in output caused by the variation in the tidal range. This is very important point. There are variation in tidal in sea or ocean. So we do not get everywhere same output for this tidal power plant. Number 2, the tidal ranges are highly variable and hence the turbines have to work on a middle range of head variation. It is also a very important disadvantage. I repeat, the tidal ranges are highly variable and hence the turbines have to work on a middle range of head variation. Number 3, the tidal range is limited to a few meters and the bulb turbine technology is not so well developed. Overall, these 3 points, the tidal range is very important in tidal power plant. If it is in low height, so we do not get efficiently the electricity and the range is high, then also we do not get very efficient electricity. Number 4, the duration of power cycle may be reasonably constant, but its time of occurrence keeps in changing, introducing difficulties in the planning of the load sharing every day in grid. Number 5, seawater is corrosive and machinery gets corroded. It is very important. So, our generator, turbine, and some auxiliary instruments are corrode in seawater. So, it is very important. Seawater is corrosive and the machinery which is used in tidal power plant corroded. Number 6. Construction in sea is found difficult. The construction in sea. We discuss both type of tidal power plant, double basin and single basin. We create a dam for high tide and low tide ocean water which fill up in basin. But construction is very difficult due to sand, and sand is quick and water which is damage the barrage or dam. So construction in sea is found very difficult and also it is very costly. Number 7. Cost is not favorable compared to other sources of energy due to corrosion, construction, and maintenance. The energy produced from tidal power plant is costly with compared to other sources like solar energy, energy from biomass or hydroelectric power plant. The produced electricity from tidal power plant is costly. So, cost is not favorable compared to the other sources of energy. And last, number 8, tidal power plant would hamper the natural uses for fishing or the navigation. It is very important. I repeat, the tidal power plant would hamper the natural uses. Hamper the natural uses for fishing or navigation. These are the main disadvantages of tidal power plant. I have some videos for this type of plant which is attached here. Please show the videos. Tidal power plant. This is the dam. This is gate opening, slice way, turbine. In high tide, water flows into basin. The gate is open and water entering in basin. The tide is created by sun and moon. So, in situation with new moon or full moon, there are very high tide in sea and basin is filled up with high tide. We have some components in tidal power plant: the powerhouse, the dam and barrage or basin, and sliceway. The sliceway are used either to fill the basin during the high tide or empty the basin during the low tide. So this type of plant contains turbines. The main parts or component of tidal energy is the powerhouse, dam and basin and sluiceway. The turbine, electric generators and other auxiliary equipments are the main equipment for the powerhouse. The function of dam to form a barrier between the sea and basin. The sluiceway are used either to fill up the basin during the low tide as per operational requirement. The tidal power plant. We see the exact situation in high tide. The sluiceway are used for fill up the basin during high tide, and in low tide the sluiceway is also used for the. So in high tide and low tide this type of situation is created. Thank you.